Hi everyone. The problem now that we are going to solve is to generate the Fibonacci series till the given total terms. So for example, here in this example, we have given the input as 8. That is, we want 8 terms. So how the Fibonacci series is generated is, it starts with the number 0 followed by 1. So these are the initial numbers. Now the upcoming terms that are there, they will be generated by summing the previous two values. So the previous two values are 0 and 1. So it will result into 0 plus 1, that is 1. Now the next term will be generated again by adding the previous two values, which is 1 plus 1. So that will give us 2. Similarly, next term will be generated using previous two term, that is 1 plus 2, that is 3, and likewise. So the next term will be 2 plus 3, that is 5. So as we see, this way the Fibonacci series gets generated. So now we have to generate this given the total number of terms. So if we give the total number of terms as 2, we should get this as the output, having only two terms. If we give it as 5, we should get this as the output, having 5 terms, and likewise. So now to solve this problem, we are going to use recursive CTE. Okay, so let's get started. So what we will do is we will write a CTE, and in that let's write the select statement. So in this case, what we will have is starting number, that is 0. Let's call it as num1 column name. The second term will be 1. Let's call it as num2 as the column name. So we have two columns. The third column that we will add is to track the total number of terms. So let's call it as total terms. So this is our CTE. Let's run it and see the data from it. So this is the data that we have. The CTE has three columns: num1 with initial value, num2 with the next value, and total terms that will track the total number of elements that are there. Okay, so now we will work on the approach that we will use to solve this problem. So let's go to Excel sheet. So we have two columns, num1, num2 are the main columns. Along with that, we have the total terms column, which is used to track the total number of elements that are there. Initially, we have populated them with the initial values, which are these: 0 for the first number, 1 for the second number, and for the total terms, it is 1. Okay, now we will start with the recursion process. So what is the recursion process? Recursion in normal programming is a function calling itself. So here inside this, we will have the query inside the CTE calling the same CTE. Okay, so that is why it is called as recursive CTE. Okay, so what we will do is we will write a union all, and we will write the recursive query here. Okay, so what we will do is we will start with the terminating condition. So we will refer this same CTE. So from this CTE, we are calling this same CTE. Okay, and we will write the terminating condition first, which is the total terms, say we need is 3. So we want total 3 terms. There should be only 3 elements present in the output. So let's start with that. So now what we will do is how it will operate. First, the condition will be checked. The terminating condition will be checked. So total terms currently is 1. So is 1 less than 3? Yes, 1 is less than 3. So now we have to do the processing. So how we will do the processing? So know that this will be the final output that we will generate. Okay, so the column A that we see, this will be the final output that we will generate. And this is kind of the second element that we will be having, but this will be ultimate output that will go to the user. So now what we will do is we will move the num to this value here. Okay, so it will be 1. So we are moving num2 to num1. And what will be num2? It will be sum of num1 and num2. So this will be 1 again. Okay, so we have moved num2 here, and this is sum of num1 plus num2. And we will increment the total terms by 1. This will be 2. So what we have done, let's write it in terms of query. So we have got num2 column, and we will give the alias it as num1. So this num2 value we have moved in the num1 column. Then we will add the two numbers num1 and num2, and this will be in our num2 column. And finally, we will add the total terms by 1. This is our total terms. It will track the number of elements. Okay, so this is our logic. Now let's test this logic further. So we incremented the total elements by 1. Now it is 2. So next time if it calls, we will again check the condition. So now it will check whether total terms is less than 3. That is, now the total terms is 2. Is 2 less than 3? Yes, 2 is less than 3. So again we will do the same processing. We will move this element to num1. So it will become 1. Now we will add this 2. So this will become 2. And we will increment the total terms. Okay. So this is what we will have. And now in the next cycle, when we will check the condition, is 3 less than 3? Is the total terms less than 3? No, 3 is equal to 3, but 3 is not less than 3. So this is false condition, and the loop will terminate. And this will be the output that will be returned to the user. So this is how it operates. In each of the recursive cycle or iteration, we will move num2 to num1 and add the num1 and num2 and update the num2 value. Okay, so this is how it will operate, and we will keep incrementing the total terms to ensure that we get only the number of elements that we are looking for, and that will help us in our terminating condition. Okay, so this is the query that we have written. Let's run it and see the output. So this is the output. So whatever we discussed in the Excel, the same thing we have got here. Okay, and note that we want the output only for num1. So we will just keep that number and get the output. So this is the final output, which is the Fibonacci series with 3 terms. Now let's see the all the elements and do it for 8 terms. And let's run it. So this is for 8 terms. So how it operates is, this is the initial select statement that we had written, the base select statement. Okay. After this, whatever rows are being generated through the second select statement, wherein the total terms keeps incrementing by 1, and we check this condition. So this is our terminating condition. So this column is to ensure that we have the total elements that we are looking for. And how are we generating these two columns? So from the previous row, we are getting the num2 to num1. Everywhere if we see, we are getting num2 to num1. And to generate the num2, we are adding the previous two numbers, num1 and num2. For generating any of num2, we are adding the previous two numbers. So this is how Fibonacci series operates, and ultimately we will just keep the num1 because that is our final output that will be shown to the user. So let's run this. This is the final output with total 8 terms that we have generated. So please go through it. If you found the video useful, please like the video. Please post in the comments what you like, and if any changes you will like to see, please provide your feedback. If you have not yet subscribed, please subscribe the channel. Thank you.